Hey everybody, I'm just going to do a quick video giving you an overview of how Screencast-O-Matic works. I'm sorry, how Flipgrid works. And so here I am logged in onto my Flipgrid. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot here. I wanted to leave it as empty as possible in case it's your first time using it. You'll see exactly what I see. Anyways, I do have two that I've created previously. And let's take a look at what we have as our options. So of course you have your discussion. This is where your main stuff is going to be. You have groups that you can create. So for example, if you want only certain students to get your Flipgrid, then you can click on select group. You can call it whatever you want. So you can call it your bubble group or whatever. There's your join code for it. And then you can also add students through specific email or username, which I like to do the email because then you can just put the PSD and then it will add them in there. And you can add your students as well by doing well, you can put like the person. So if you say, for example, James001 at students.psd1.org, that makes it so that only the people that you've put in here can log into this particular Flipgrid. Or you can put a domain, which would be at students.psd1.org, and then you'll be able to see them. You can also create a guest password to allow other people to do it. But for right now, let's just focus on the general Flipgrid. So we're going to say add a topic, and as you can see here, I can put my title. So I'm going to say today's assignment. Down here we're going to have a prompt, which you're going to use whatever you want to say. For example, read the story and give your response to the story using beginning, middle, and end. As you can see here, I have all kinds of options of how to do that. I'll let you play with those keys. Now this is really important that you can change how long the video that they're responding is going to be, because if you make it too long, then you're going to have to watch 30 of these, and if it's 5 minutes each, 30 times 5, you can do the math on that. So it's good to keep them short. It also helps them to know to stay focused, although from what I've seen, most kids don't use the full 30 minute, 30 seconds anyways. But just in case, it's a good idea. So as you go through it, you can see that there's different options. Now obviously some of these are not going to work. I experimented, and so for example Giphy, it's really cool and you can have all kinds of cool GIF images, but the students won't be able to see any of it on their laptop. So obviously there are going to be a couple of these that all images are blocked regardless of what they are. Obviously YouTube and Vimeo are going to be blocked as well. But I did try like uploading a video from Screencast-O-Matic. I was able to do that, as well as some others, and so we can experiment. But this will basically add this to your file. So for example, let me just grab the one that I did. So I have downloads. There's the video that I downloaded from my Screencast-O-Matic.
Hey everyone.
There it goes. It's going to play it, but I don't want to listen to the whole thing, so let's skip past it. So anyways, now I have my video that's attached. I say next. There we go, it's uploaded. Yep, hooray, it's on there. Okay, so now I have my little video that they'll be able to look at if they want. Down here I have my access controls, but you'll also see that you have more options right here. And this is really important that you click on this, especially the first time that you do it, because there's a bunch of options on here you probably don't want your students doing. So as I click on that, and then I have topic attachments. So for example, if I wanted to add in a link, say this particular thing is a Think Central book, and I can say the book you are supposed to read. I mean, obviously you want to give it a better title than that. And I can say, now I can add as many attachments as I want. If I decide I don't want this one, I just click on the X. That's what this X means, is I can remove it if I change my mind about it. And then down here, your topic active status. Now here's another important thing. If it's active, as soon as you post it, they'll be able to see it. You can also do frozen or hidden, which means that they won't be able to see it, and at any time you can activate it and they'll be able to see it. The easier way though is, let's say I'm making an assignment that's for tomorrow or for Friday, but I don't want them to see it until Friday. So over here, I change it from never to whatever day I want it to be. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. This one, there, now it's active on Friday or Thursday. There's no school on Friday. And then I can make it go for as long as I want. So I can make it say that it's only going to be available to be done between these dates. Now I don't have to think about it, because on Friday that one will magically appear inside their thing, and they'll be able to see it and be able to do it. I'm going to change it back because I want to be able to switch and be the student and do this assignment. So I'm going to change it back to, let's move it back to the previous date so that way I can see it when I switch over to the student. Okay, so anyways, that's really nice. The download and share, if they want to download and share their own video, they can. I'm not sure about whether or not other students can download and share it, so I would probably uncheck that unless you're sure what it's going to do for you. Notifications, you can have daily notifications. I think that's for you though. They can also follow a topic if they want to. Not really necessary for a student unless you're having like a class discussion about a particular thing. Down here, selfies and videos. Of course, this is what they are able to add filters, stickers, and all those other things to. I'm going to leave all of them turned on so that you can see what they do. But honestly, I would turn most of them off except for maybe likes so they can like it. Obviously, video comments, unless you're trying to have a specific discussion about their videos, you gotta be really careful because students might say mean things to each other about other students' videos. And then of course your video count, you can leave that on. The sticky notes, sticks a sticky note on there. It doesn't look like the sticky note translates over to the actual video recording. It might just be notes for themselves to remind themselves of what to say. Because when I watched the video, the sticky note disappeared. So that was kind of interesting. Anyways, and then don't worry about the feedback thing. And then of course what you want to do is right here, you see this box where it says save changes to my default settings. So everything that I've changed here, especially up here where it says the domain, you don't want to have to retype this every time, especially if you're doing like a bubble group or something and you want them to stay in there. So you say at students.psd1, and I've already done it once before, you see that's why it's trying to help me. But anyways, and then I hit that, and now it should, yep, there it goes, turns blue. So that means any student can now log into this. Now if you want teachers to be able to see it as well, you'll have to put at psd1.org. And if you have a parent or somebody who has like a Hotmail or something, you'd have to do that. But for right now, probably these are the two that you want, which is at students.psd1.org and at psd1.org. That way, any teacher can log in and see it, and any student can log in and see it. Okay, so it looks like we got everything ready to go. We've got all of our settings set the way we want. And so I'm going to create this topic. Now I have a couple different options. You can either just copy the link and send them the link, like for example if you're using a Bitmoji classroom, you can have an icon, the Flipgrid, and embedded in that icon you can have this link. You can also embed it into something else like a PowerPoint or something. I found this one was actually pretty useful. I clicked on Teams, and then I choose a team or channel, and I'm going to share it to my facilitator of Epic Awesomeness. And let's go with the specific one, which is tech tips shown with video. So I'm going to click on that one, and then there you go, you can see there's the assignment. And so I say share, and now before I switch to the student view, I'm going to close all this and I'm going to go to my team. So here we are inside of Teams, and we are going to click on the one that I sent it to, which was tech tips shown with video. So I click right there, and there it is, today's assignment. I click on that. As a teacher, I'm going to have to say join with Microsoft. The student is going to have to do the exact same thing. They're going to click on that. Their name is going to be right here. They'll click on that, login successful, and boom. The student is actually going to see this exact same thing that I'm seeing right now. And so anyways, they click. Now first of all, here's the book you're supposed to read, right? So that was the link that I put inside the link thing. I click on that, and shazam, there's the book. Okay. Now, if they have not ever used their Think Central book before, it'll probably put them on the first page of this particular student book, and so they'll have to, up here in the top, type in whatever page number that you want them to go to, and then it'll take them directly to that page. And then after that, it'll remember wherever they were the last time and just dump them right back there. So anyways, it might be a good idea to include what page number it is so that they can do that. Moving on, here's the video that I attached. You can see right here that they can click the video, and I can say respond to this video, and they'll watch the video, and then they can do the response afterwards. So let's do it. So I'm going to say click and do a response. I'm going to allow. So right here it's asking, do I want to allow Flipgrid to use my microphone and my camera? You're going to have to say yes, otherwise it won't do it. That is why I haven't been having my video playing in the bottom right corner, because if I have two different programs that want to use the same camera, it won't allow it to do that. It says only one program at a time, which is why I've not had my video down there so that I could use it here on Flipgrid. So the first thing that I want to show you is that I've turned on all of the options. So here's all the different things that I left turned on, and you have the ability to turn off all of these things. So let's start at the beginning. I can say that they're filters, so I can give myself kind of a sepia tone or a black and white or whatever, blurred, all that kind of stuff, right? And then frames, this is one of my son's favorite things to do when he's doing a Flipgrid, is you can put all kinds of different cool frames. And then when you record your video, you're going to have that exact same frame, right? So now, we also have emojis. You know, our kids love emojis, so they can put whatever emojis they want and stick them wherever they want inside of their little thing. And you're going to see pretty quickly that if I leave all this stuff turned on, it's going to get pretty crowded in my video, which may or may not matter. I mean, if it keeps the kids engaged, is that such a bad thing? So anyways, but also, like I say, it's going to get crowded. You can also let them type text. So for example, I can, I'm not sure to let me type, it's not letting me type. There it goes. I can leave a message. And then they can, of course, move that around anywhere they want once they've typed it. So anyways, but as you can see now, I have this text that's right there in my thing. So they can also draw, which it's not letting me draw for some reason, but it's, yeah, there it goes. Now it's letting me draw. Okay, so they can draw, and then they also can put a whiteboard or a colored board over there on the right side with paper. And so then if you want to do that, and then they can use the text or they can use the draw tool to do whatever over here. And then that will stay on their video. And then of course they can add photos and other things or custom stickers if you've allowed them to do that, which you can see how that could probably go bad pretty quickly. So they have it now set up. They've got their whiteboard over there, they've got their stickers, they've got all that other stuff. They do have some other options. So mirrored video, it's moving backwards of what my hand, so it's as if I'm looking in a mirror. I click this and you see how it switched, and now it matches my hand. Also notice the text behind me on the calendar. And one is backwards like a mirror, and then the other it's read correctly. And then I can mute myself so that I can just see it. I can record my screen, or I can upload clips. Again, all options you can enable or disable for your students. So I'm going to record. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey everybody, this is my video talking about that cool video that I saw. I thought it was great in the beginning. It was talking about a spider, had friends with a fly, and then they went and did all kinds of adventures. They learned stuff in school, and in the end, they were hanging out together on a leaf and were being great friends. The end. Okay, so now my video's over. So I say next. And now I can review the video. It's going to show how it's showing it in the background. And I can either listen to it and decide I want to change it, or I can just say next. And now it asks you to do a selfie. That was one of the options that you had there in the beginning, is you could put the selfie on. So then they can do the selfie. Again, it's my kids, one of their favorite things is being able to do some kind of crazy picture with their video. So I can do my crazy picture. There's my crazy picture. And as you can see, even with this, it looks very crowded. Oh, I forgot about the sticky notes. This is sticky notes. And so I can say the topics I'm supposed to talk about. Beginning, middle, end. Now you'll see that even though I put a sticky note on here, all the other stuff I did is visible. And like I could even go back to the video and put the sticky note there. And the sticky note won't show up. It's just there for the student to help them remind. It's like a Cliff Notes for what they want to say. Anyway, so we say next. And there we go. It uploads the video. Most of the time with my son, I just send it. But as you can see, they can link something if they want to. They can give it a title. My epic response to my teacher video. And then they say submit. They get all kinds of little fireworks saying, yay, you did it. And they say complete. And voila, they're done. So now, as a teacher, I'm going to refresh this real quick. Get to see, there's the response. And see how it has the name of the student down here? And so then as your students start responding, all those things will show up here. Now, it's an option to allow them to see each other's videos, whether they can comment on the video. Again, as I click here, there's the video. And then down here, they can comment if they want to. So they say add a comment. Oh, actually, I guess it's a video response on that one, which I don't want to do. How do I stop that? Oh, I guess I have to. Dude, your video was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And every student is going to give a very positive response, and they're never going to say anything negative. There you go. And now they've given their response. They can do a selfie. Like so. That was an awesome selfie right there. Uploading your video. Submit. Complete. And now you should see that there's a comment down here. Well, I have to refresh it before it'll do that. There it is. There's my video response. Okay. Again, depending on how much you want or what kind of discussion you're trying to have and what kind of things you're doing as to whether or not. Now the likes, there's nothing wrong with that because they can only like, they can't not like. So if they like what they saw, then they can like it. And as you can see here, here's the link that the student posted. Again, you can allow them to have links or not. That's up to you. And then that's pretty much it for Flipgrid. And that's the basic guide for what it looks like for them, what it looks like for you, and what kind of things you can do. If you have any questions, let me know.